Welcome, mothers and others. I'm so glad you are joining me today. I can't wait to introduce you to our next candidate who's running for office. Evan Hunt is running for Texas Congressional District 3. Welcome, Evan. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for having me.
So, Evan, let's just hit it at the top. Tell us, why are you running for office?
Okay, I'm a 20-year Air Force combat veteran. I'm a business leader and a family man living in McKinney. And I don't understand really what's happening to our country under the current administration. I believe America is a place that you can say what you want to say, love who you want to love, worship how you want to worship, and be who you want to be. And all I see out of the other side, particularly my opponent, Keith Self in Texas' third district, is the politics of division and distraction, dividing our communities, distracting us with nonsense legislation instead of focusing on the real issues to make our communities better. So I want to get back to work. I want to get back to real American values. And unfortunately, I just don't think it can happen with current representation. And I decided it was time to step up and do something about
So, what do you feel that this office needs right now?
it. We need people, representatives that are going to tell the truth, even when it's hard. And they're going to do the right thing, even in the face of interest, in the face of challenges or influence from special interests, from big money, and people that aren't going to divide our communities. So right now, instead of actually working on reforms that will make our country better, we're just blaming and complaining, blaming the Biden administration, blaming one group of individuals or another. And we need to get back to welcoming people together, compromise, negotiation, and real reforms, systematic reforms that our country desperately needs to enable the middle class to grow again, to enable the American dream to come to fruition.
Can you tell us a little bit more about who you are and your personal values?
Yeah, so I served in the Air Force. I joined after 9/11. So I was pre-law. I was studying political science and history. I was would have loved to go into government at one point, and then September 11th hit very close to home. My parents were working in New York City at the time, and as a student of World War II history, studying the greatest generation, I decided I wanted to serve and do my part. So I marched down to the recruiter's office. That took me down a long rabbit hole, serving in the military, serving the federal government for decades. Even after retiring from the military as a lieutenant colonel, flying combat missions in Afghanistan, Iraq, I still work in uh, at companies that are tech companies that support both commercial industry and military industry. So in my heart, I'm very patriotic, uh, but I've also had the opportunity to live all over the country, work all over the world, and my parents raised me with the values of the golden rule: treat other people the way you want to be treated. I like to focus on the things we have in common, not on our differences. And I believe in service before self, putting the needs of others over your own.
What are the top three issues that you are currently running on?
So I think there's so much going on to push back on with the current administration. But winning issues here in Texas, I talk about healthcare reform. So affordability is a big problem. That's the catchword. Everybody talks about affordability. We all know ever since Trump took over, prices across the board have gone up. But healthcare is, I think, the best example of the failure of this administration to do things to help Americans. So the Affordable Care Act isn't perfect, but it was solving serious problems. And the Republicans are trying to roll back these subsidies that 10% of my district are on and not offering a better solution. They just have a concept of a plan. We need to, everybody, nobody in this country should be one medical emergency away or a cancer diagnosis away from bankruptcy. And we have too much of that. I talk about immigration reform. So do we need strong borders? Absolutely. I think that's a bipartisan issue. In fact, it was a bipartisan issue before Trump got elected. But we need to get back to treating people with dignity and respect. ICE has become an abomination. Our immigration authority needs to be rebuilt from the ground up because it's lost the public trust. We shouldn't have a business of detention, for-profit detention, especially here in Texas. And we need faster pathways to legal recognition. We need better courts. And frankly, people that are carrying guns and in masks need to be sent back to the border, not put into our streets. The last thing I'll talk about is public schools. Even though people don't think of public schools as a federal issue, the attack on the Department of Education is a very real thing that provides very valuable standards across the country for our public schools. And 15 to 20% of public school budgets come from the federal government. And believe me, those are going to be under attack with this administration. Those are for things like the school lunch program and for the IDEA program, special needs. Um, so we have a state battle on public schools with this voucher nonsense here in Texas, but that is being expanded to the federal level. And I am a champion of public schools. I'm a graduate of public schools. I have kids in the public schools. Um, People like to talk about assimilation of different cultures here in Texas. So they want other cultures to assimilate. We do that in public schools. So I think public schools are the third issue I'd mention. The last thing I'll say is redistricting, because James Salarico and I are aligned on this. I think we need a federal ban on partisan mid-cycle gerrymandering and redistricting and get back to once every 10 years with non-partisan commissions.
Okay, thank you so much, Evan. Now we get to have a little bit of fun and we get to learn a little bit more about you. We're going to do a fun speed round, so let's just hit it at the top. What is the last book you read?
I read a sci-fi novel called Red Rising, which I absolutely loved. I don't want to spoil it, but it was basically about not about left versus right. It was about top versus bottom in a future that felt all too real right now, the way we're living today.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word at the moment is nonsense because I constantly get attacked by people online spreading all of these memes and ridiculous accusations about what they think Democrats stand for. And I always respond with nonsense, and then I explain why.
What is your favorite song?
Uh, well, I'll give you two. Under Pressure has been my favorite song for a long time. I certainly feel the pressure now. And lately, I've been listening to a lot of For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield because I felt like growing up, I loved that song, but I couldn't really relate to that type of worry for our nation. Most of my life, things felt like they were moving in the right direction, and now they don't. And so I definitely relate to that song now.
Do you have a personal motto?
Yeah, I'll give you two. On my first deployment, my commander said to our young squadron, "You are what you do when it counts." And that stuck with me because none of us are perfect all the time. We all make mistakes, but we need to step up and do what's right, especially when it's hard, especially when it counts. And sometimes, you know, um, you're the best person for that moment, especially if you can rise to that moment. The other one I'll say is be the change you want to see in the world. That one always stuck with me. And I try to live my values.
What is your favorite meal?
Ah, a giant thin slice of New York pizza that you can't seem to find in Texas. But yeah, if I go back to Manhattan or Jersey, it's one on every street corner. So I don't know. Maybe if politics doesn't work out, I'll start a pizza joint here in McKinney.
What is your favorite hobby?
I like to play tabletop games with my son. So strategy card games, and he's been teaching me a little Dungeons and Dragons. Other than that, I like to mountain bike and golf when I have some time.
What is your favorite animal?
So Murphy, my dog, is definitely my favorite animal and a member of the family. But beyond that, I love horses. So I grew up riding horses, and I wish I had time and money to ride still.
So, Evan, where can we go to find more information about your campaign? What is your URL and what are your social media handles?
Thank you for asking. So it's very simple. I am electevanhunt.com. That's the URL. And then I am Elect Evan Hunt on all socials. I'm very active on Facebook. I post almost every day a real policy position. I don't believe in memes, and I respond to people. I tend to also post that on Twitter. You won't see short tweets from me. I think they dumb down conversation. You'll see long policy positions, think white papers. And I'm very active on Instagram as well. You'll find me on Blue Sky as well, but all elect Evan Hunt.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today and introducing yourself to voters. And I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Nancy. I think we have an incredible opportunity to finally turn Texas blue. And when we do that, especially in sleeper districts like mine that haven't been represented by Democrats since 1968, it will send a loud message, not only to this country, but to the rest of the world, that the MAGA Republican movement has been rejected and that we're getting back to real American values, that the Democratic Party is a big tent party that's loud and proud, welcoming and forgiving, and peaceful and patriotic, and that is what we need. So I think it's an exciting time to be involved. It's an exciting time to get involved. And look, we're 6 months away from arguably the most important elections of our lives, and also 6 months away from the most winnable elections we're likely to have in Texas. Thank you.